Hi guys, my name is Ganesan and I am from DTP1A and my metric card number is 10DTP19F1003. So today I have a very interesting yet very important topic to discuss with you guys, that will be raising pet snakes. So how many of persons do you have already pets in your house? Yes, and and most people like to answer yes, but mostly they like to keep these normal pets, which includes dogs, cats, fish, birds, and etc. But there are less and very rare peoples which who keep snakes as their pets. But do you know the answer where we can also keep snakes as our as our pets also? So here I'll give some of the tips and ways in order to raise a pet snakes. So there are several species and several steps in order to raise a pet snake. So before we jump into the topic, I'd like to explain to you guys more about snakes. So actually, snakes existed in our world for more for a more long time ago, which will be up to 90 to 100 million years ago. They already existed in our planet, but there are actually many varieties and many types of snakes in this world. So some of them are venomous and some of them are non-venomous. There are actually up to 3,000 types of snakes around the world, but there are several selected breeds only which is used to keep as pet snakes. So some of that will be corn snakes, Californian king snakes, boa, and ball python as well. So actually, in order to raise a pet snakes, there are several levels as well. So which will be intermediate level, beginners level, and then expert level. So the experts level, most of them like to keep pet snakes, but in a very dangerous manner, which will be the venomous snakes. They like to keep the venomous snakes. For most of them, they like to keep it for a business where they can collect the venom and produce antibody and antivenom as well. But we no need to jump into that problem. We like to just I like to just explain to you guys how to raise a pet snake on a beginner level. So for the beginners, we normally like to breed the small snakes, and mostly are not venomous snake, and they are also not harmful to human beings. So some of the examples will be king snakes, corn snakes, and ball python. So these types of snakes are very easily we can find in a pet shop and as well in a pet trading industry. So it's actually these snakes are very is suitable for people who are trying to raise the snakes on a beginner level, because they are actually not harmful towards humans. They are actually quite subtle as well. They do not like to harm humans when we are interacting towards them. So actually, keeping a pet snake, it involves many works and many criteria as well. So first criteria, if you want to raise a pet snake, we need to find out what is the type of the snake and what does it eat. So some of the snakes like to eat rodents, some of the snakes like to eat animals and many things. So I like to explain you some of the type of snakes, how to raise them. So my example will be ball python. Actually, ball python has many types of breed on it, and it has many different type of colors on it as well. It ranges, the price also ranges from 1000 Malaysian ringgit to 5000, even um, 20 of thousands in Malaysian ringgit, because of its very vibrant colors. So in order to raise a raise pet ball python, first of all we need to find a very spacious tank or aquarium. We can also use a glass aquarium and as well as plastic containers, but make sure it is a very big containers, because snakes are usually very fast raising snakes, because when they eat, they actually produce more and more, and they entitled to get a very large size in a very short term of time. And especially ball python, it's actually to feed a ball python, we actually need we can actually sell many types of foods such as rodents, animals, and meat. But I would like to recommend you guys to feed it rodents, where we can just feed one mice, and it can take up to 2 weeks in order to feed it another one. But in order to feed a mice, we always should feed a frozen mice, but we must not always take the frozen mice and directly feed to the snake, but we should always store it using a running water, then we have to feed it. But I suggest, if you guys want to feed the snake, but transfer it to another container where where nobody should disturb it, because when we tend to disturb the snake while eating, it gets stressed and they do not eat. And if they are eating, and they will regurgitate back the food which they have eaten, and it causes a very bad smell. So the second, I would like to suggest you, second thing, water. To keep a pet snake, we always need to keep it in a we have always should give it a water pond where it can just sleep on it, or just submerge on it for a few moments over. Because sometimes if it gets overheat, they will like to tend to cool down by using this way. But I would like to recommend you guys, do not use tap water which are chlorinated. um, you guys have to use the water which is not chlorinated, and it must be very clean as well. So the third thing, when they are shedding, you must always keep the tank moistened, because it will be easy for the process of the shedding skin of the snakes. And then the final thing, we must always be careful with our snakes, when especially when handling them. So I'd like to also suggest you guys, if you want to keep a healthy snakes, always tend to just keep on checking on their eating habit, their size, and their scales. So if you guys find a very small patches of dots of black things on the snake, immediately rush to a hospital, or immediately consult to a very good person, to a professional, where they can actually solve the problem for you. If they have a very small dot of black patches on their skin, it indicates they are in a sick problem, they have sick, or they have problems towards their health. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I also hope you guys understand how to raise a pet snake. And I also hope you guys also will raise a pet snake rather than raising a pet dog, cats, or anything. I hope you guys would like to explore more on snakes as well. So thank you guys. Bye.